Welcome back. The Trump administration just rolled out its plan for an Obamacare replacement, making tax reform the next priority. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin recently told me that the president is looking into a reciprocal tax in regards to trade. Watch.
An idea that he's looking at calling a reciprocal tax, which is basically saying we want to create a level playing field so that other countries treat us the way we're treating them. We're not going to get into trade wars, but what we are going to do is the president believes in free trade, but he believes in fair trade.
Joining us right now is the CEO and president of Mitsubishi Hitachi Power Systems America, part of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Paul Browning is with us. Paul, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria. How are you?
So what's your take on what you're hearing out of this administration as it relates to trade and taxes?
Well, you know, our interest is making sure that the administration and folks on Capitol Hill understand that we feel like we've been doing exactly what the people in the United States would like to see us doing. My business alone, over the last 15 years, we've hired 2,000 Americans because, we produce Mitsubishi heavy products. The heavy products that we produce are things that we want to manufacture locally and then supply to projects in the United States, and those projects themselves then create further jobs. As a matter of fact, our factory in Savannah, Georgia, which employs 20% of our folks there are U.S. veterans, we're now starting to export from our factory in the United States to other places in the Americas, including most recently Mexico. So, we feel like our story is really strong, and what we're talking to folks about is, as you put in new tax policy, let's make sure that we don't put in tax policy that creates a disincentive to do the kind of things that our country has done, or
sure.
our company has done.
And you met with Senator Marco Rubio yesterday to talk about this. Can you give us any details about that meeting and your reaction to this so-called reciprocal tax they're thinking about?
Sure. Well, first of all, one of the reasons that I met with Senator Rubio is out of those 2,000 folks that we've hired in the United States, about 1,000 of them are in the state of Florida, and that includes my job as well. And so Senator Rubio has been a big supporter of ours over the years, and we just went in and I basically told him the story I just told you, and I would say he responded by saying, listen, it's early days on this thing, we're all figuring out exactly how we're going to implement it, but gave me the strong message that certainly the U.S. government wants to support companies like ours that have made the kind of investment in the U.S. and created great manufacturing jobs in the United States.
Paul, it's Dagan McDowell. When you look at Washington and you watch and wait for Washington to act on a whole host of policies, does that put your business-making decisions on hold at all, even in the smallest way?
Well, I would say we're a very long-term business, and in fact, most Japanese businesses, I think, they're real long-term thinkers. So our real focus right now is making sure we understand what's the long-term implication of any changes that happen. In the short term, we're going to continue to do our thing. We're going to continue to create jobs in the United States. We're going to continue to export products from the United States to other countries, and that's our focus right now.
Paul, how are you finding an educated workforce? Are you having to train the bulk of your hirees, or are you finding that our education system now is able to produce a workforce that can come in and help you grow your business?
That's a great question. I mentioned earlier that 20% of our folks in our factory in Savannah, Georgia are U.S. veterans, and one of the reasons that we recruit heavily from U.S. veterans is they have just the right mix of skills and experience for our, we have a very high-tech product, and essentially our product is a jet engine that sits on the ground, and so a lot of folks in the military have experience with those kinds of turbo machinery products, and plus just the training they get in the military, their leadership skills, we find they make really some of our best employees. Now, in the general population, I'd say we have a lot of very intensive on-site training that we do when folks join our company. Again, we're doing some of the most advanced manufacturing in the world. As a matter of fact, this is the kind of thing you can't afford not to do in a country like the United States or Japan.
The president is also meeting with infrastructure CEOs. Are you expecting a big infrastructure plan?
We're certainly hoping for one. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries supplies a lot of different technologies that enable infrastructure in the United States. And so, the $1 trillion plan that the president has talked about, we're certainly very interested in helping provide solutions.
Paul, thank you so much. Paul Browning there.